Today is Wednesday. It's our day, right?
Yes.
It's our day. This is, guys, but first of all, look, I'm so excited. Let me just get right first. Let me just say, hey, besties.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, she had to remind me that the camera's up there. Look, hey, guys. Hey, besties. How you guys doing today?
Awesome.
Good.
Awesome. Well, everybody that has joined in, welcome to BestieFinder's Office Hours on steroids. Let me just put it that way. Okay. So this is our very first Gift Intelligence Town Hall. And so, y'all, this is where we get to really hang out, have some good fun with you all today. And you get to, once you hear our scenarios, or as we're talking, you think of any scenarios that you have going on or have had, and you wonder, how can I have done this better? Right? And so we want you guys to just be thinking, get ready to type in your questions inside of the comments, and let's have some fun today. So I'm excited. So again, let me address my besties. I can't help it. I just had to look at the screen because I want to see their beautiful faces. Hey besties, hey coach,
Hey.
hey Dr. K.
Hey. How y'all
And y'all
doing?
know we got to see now. I had to say, hey Dr.
Hey,
Lisa.
bestie.
I
Oh, they
can't
should
wait to
hug. They
see
should
you.
hug. Hug.
Look, give
Hug.
it to us. There you go, coach. All right. So, guys, we done all the welcome. We're glad you're here. So, we're going to turn it over to Dr. Lisa, and so we can just talk about what we're going to be doing today and how much fun, even more that we're going to have. Okay.
Hey, everybody. It is Dr. Lisa. Hey, besties.
Hey.
All right. Check this out. Today is our Gift Intelligence Town Hall, and we are going to teach you a little bit more about yourself, those clashes and connections that you have at work, at the church, at home with your friends, so that you understand where the clash is actually happening. And sometimes it's not their fault, it's yours.
So y'all remember, this is live. We're not cutting any corners. We're not making anything up. We're not going to try to not hurt your feelings. So all of that. So you're gonna get the bloopers. You're gonna get all that today, right?
Mhm.
Because I love it. This is what I love. I love live. So okay. So you ready to give us the scenario? Our first scenario of the day. Well,
Yes.
first of all, if you're watching, please just say hello, and tell us who invited you or where you're at, just whatever. So just send us some messages so we know that you guys are out there. All
All
right.
right. And you can drop your comments at YouTube or here in our Bestie Finder studio. We'll see it. All right, let's set up. Okay. Now, stop me if you've heard this or if you know these people.
I know
So, a leadership team is trying to attract and retain younger adults, right? You want to expand the team, you want to keep the work and the mission going. But the younger members, okay, they're down. They want to be helpful. They keep suggesting different communication styles, different approaches, maybe a little bit more collaborative leadership. But the old
them.
guard, the old guard
Sorry.
is resisting every change they suggest because, well, this is how we've always done it. We don't want to lose our culture.
Mm.
Or they just need to do the work. They're not committed enough to do it the way we did it.
Mm.
Stop me if you heard that.
I heard that. I've heard. We actually, as recent as yesterday,
Yeah.
and it was a political, kind of like a political atmosphere,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and that's the
So,
thing.
mm-hmm.
So the response of the younger crew is, "Oh well, do it yourselves. We out.
They will not
So
hang around.
coach this."
All right, who going first? Dr. K, you were telling us you just had this. Tell us what you just said.
Yes. It's kind of funny because I just had this conversation a few days ago. I think it was maybe like Wednesday. So I think it was Thursday or Friday or something. Just a random conversation with this random stranger in Kohl's, the department store here. And we were talking about ministry, and he got to talking about how younger people, your testimony can translate authenticity or fakery. He said they can detect the fake. And so they will be less inclined to participate. They will be less inclined to stay. if it's not authentic, if the connections are not authentic. You have to meet them where they are, as far as the way they communicate, the way they think, even. You have to include them and give them a voice so they can feel like they are a part, if you want to actually produce some type of lifelong change in them and actually get their buy-in, so to speak. So yeah, that was
Wow.
a random conversation in Kohl's department store when I was looking for a jacket.
For today. Well, no, not for today, but you
Yeah,
have
it
a
was
whole lot
a
going on.
Saturday.
First
Yeah,
of
it was
all,
a Saturday. Yeah.
yeah, Dr. K, you have to tell them where are you? Where are you located?
I'm located in Northeast Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi, actually.
All
That's
right. So
where
that's what I'm saying. That's fabulous. See, they're having these conversations up in Northeast Mississippi, y'all.
yes, yes.
Same conversations. But what I wanted to say, okay, when we're talking about the younger generation versus the older generation in ministry or in business, I mean, so you think about it. Um, when the kids are more in tune to how they're wired. Now, back in the day, most of the people, when we're talking about the older generation, they were more inclined as to how they were taught, right? And so when we're talking about those two clashing, right? Um, it's kind of hard to get people that works into, that operates from a traditional standpoint. Well, that's the way my mama taught me. That's what my grandmama told me. My granddaddy, he took me, to the blank, blank, blank every single day, so that's what they know. And so that's why it's so important to really begin to understand your own giftings, right? And so when you're dealing now, just think about that. If you're dealing with a headstrong administrator, teacher, or exhorter, or no, better yet, or perceiver, and you're dealing with that young person that's operated in those gifts, opposed to an older person who has never tapped into their gifts, right? And so they could definitely be operated in compassion. Man, that's going to be World War 15. Okay, we way up in the future. Okay, World War 15, because the older people they don't get it. A lot of us, we thinking like some things that even I may have approached with my son when he was younger. He's still young, but I mean, as a younger adult, and just understanding his giftings is what made me get to a place where, okay, I could understand him a whole lot better. So it wasn't even about tradition, because I'm not about traditional stuff either, though. So, but it was really understanding his gifts. Okay, he has the entrepreneurial spirit. Okay, and so that tells me what that falls under. Like the givers are absolutely have that entrepreneurial mindset because they are good at business, right? And then so now, if you're talking compassion to compassionate, so the older person may be all up in their feelings and like do it my way. This is the way we've learned. But then you have a younger compassionate that may feel like, look, I got all day to get this done. I got all year to get this done, right? So it definitely makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take over, y'all. So because y'all know I can go.
Well, we got time. We got a little bit longer session today. So
yes.
this makes me think of when so my mom used to go to a lot of chicken dinners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she was a part of a civic social support league, right? And so that was almost all old guard over there. Old guard, culturally focused, and they really, really wanted the mission to succeed. And they were really in this exact same scenario, worried about getting younger people on board. So I would make suggestions and I would say, this is how it could happen. These are the things you need to think about. But we always ran up on, well, we don't do things like that. Or, if it was good enough for us to get here, then it must be good enough for us to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So any change feels like an attack. Compassion. So a lot of those challenges that could have been mitigated stayed in place because of old guard resistant to change.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now the organization is starving, dying because young people keep leaving.
Let me say something. Dr. Lisa just said something so important. Like when you're talking and when you're saying that you're feeling attacked, compassion.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're
Mhm.
talking to an administrator or perceiver, you look lazy. You know what I'm saying? So, and then if you're talking to a server and a giver, it's like, and even down to a compassionate, another one, like that's just the way, that's just her being,
Mhm.
in her feelings, or that's just the way it is, and that's the way she
Right.
do. No, so when you, and then that teacher is like, y'all just dumb, y'all just don't get it. Okay.
I didn't say that out loud.
I just went live. I just want y'all to just get a little snippet of what we're doing over here. So we'll check you all later. I can't hold that phone up. Okay. But you see how that goes though?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're talking, everybody gonna see it a little differently. So first, before we go any further, tell them a little bit, just a little breakdown about BestieFinder, who we are, what we do as far as our myGiftsID gift assessment, and just all those great things.
All right. Well, if you are new here, welcome. This is Office Hours, and we are the Bestie Finder coaches. Bestie Finder is a leadership and life coaching company where we focus on what drives you on the inside so you can use that thing to create the life that you want. So whether you are driven by process and focus and study and research like me,
Mm-hmm. A
or
heart.
or hearts and love and you are a heart-led leader, or if you want to cheer everybody on and make sure that they're good, wherever you stand on that spectrum, we are here to help you live the life that you want, build the business you want, lead the team the way you want, in a way that brings each of their gifts together for the good of your organization, your family, or just you.
Absolutely. Because guess what? It absolutely starts with you.
It starts with
It
you.
starts with you. And until you learn and discover and embrace actually who you really are and how you're wired, and figuring out why people say the things that they say about you, why you love the things that you love about yourself or the things that you don't like. And so it really, really helps you in building a team in life and in business and just, investorship. Okay. I don't know if that's a word. It is today.
Investorship.
Investorship. And even in ministry, right?
Mhm.
So that's why it's very, 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 very important. And as I was telling you all about, what was that?
Yesterday?
No, I just lost my train of thought. When I was, oh, no, what I said, most of the time people say, things are life changing. It's so cliche-ish now, right?
Mhm.
But no, that's why I said it is real. It really will change your life the minute you discover your gifts. People telling you all the time that you need to do it. So do it. We are providing the tool that you need to get it done, and so that you can begin to make a change for sure, for real, for real.
Mhm.
So look, so we're not going to leave that scenario just yet. We want to hear, we want y'all to chime in. So we got Coach over there. Coach, tell them where you at. Where you at, girl? Where you at?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, I
Hey,
miss
girl, you begin
Atlanta.
to
It's
sound like you
okay.
from Nashville, Tennessee. You ain't been there that long, girl. Goodness. Hey, beautiful.
Yes. Hey, hey, Dr. Dean, Kathy, and Dr. Lisa, and Dr. Carmel. And as I hear you all talk about all the scenarios, I'm just thinking about like implementation, the how to, how can people actually work through it, grow through it. And the first and foremost, if you're talking about business, is what are the business visions and goals, and how is that business scaling? What is it, the ultimate goal in growth, right? And making sure that everyone within the team is looking at those things. But what makes the gifts so valuable is that understanding your gifts allows to put people in the right place so that that mission of the business and the vision of the business can flourish. But you have to respect that everybody is not you. Everyone has different gifts. We all have the 7 gifts. Is it 7 or 8? Why I want to give another gift?
We all have the gifts within inside of us, but we're just made up different. They're wired different. Like Dean said, we're all like, we have the teacher, exhorter, administrator on our specific team. And we have the exhorter, perceiver, administrator. We have the Dr. Carmel, giver, administrator, teacher.
Teacher, giver, administrator.
Nope.
Teacher, giver,
See, I
exhorter.
got the wiring wrong.
Yeah,
And
exhorter is somewhere up in there.
okay.
It show up every now and again.
And it talks about, that speaks to how we're made up. Some of the gifts are more will driven, some of the gifts are more emotionally given, and then the others, or the mind, and then our emotions, right? So as you were talking, I was just thinking about growth. Do you really want to grow, or do you want to be perceived as correct, right? In those particular situations? Because if a young person is coming to you, do you want them to grow, but also do you believe that you have room to grow? Do they have a gifting that can help elevate you in a certain way? Or do you think you know everything and you just want to replace who you are in that organization for it to grow? So,
and that's real talk right there. That's real talk. There are some people who think they know it all.
Yes.
Okay. And they don't mind letting you know that they think that they know it all. Okay. We have Chris here today. I love it. Love it. Love it. So yeah, we had to turn the light off so we could show up on the screen. So this is very interactive. We're live with like real raw, everything. So if you have anything that you want to share along the way, you just let us know. Okay.
Yes.
It really is, Chris. He was saying that we were saying that it's life changing because again, so going back to the scenario of the younger versus the older. And people just set in their ways, and it was one thing to get stuck in your ways of something that you really don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like what they knew back then and what the kids know now is that's a problem already. That's problematic already. And then when you're talking about the gifts, when you're saying that you have this kid that's just very just real headstrong, right? And then when you're talking to an elder that is hard-led, so they're going to really begin to think that grandkid or their child or whatever is being really rude,
disrespectful,
disrespectful, all of that. And so, and just to give an example, there was a young lady. She was saying that she felt like she was bipolar, right? Because her mom was she realized her mom was compassionate, and that she was a perceiver and a teacher because she was into psychology. Okay, she had a psychology background, and she was like, her mom was like, you are just smart at the mouth. You think you know everything, and they just fought. They just bumped heads all the time until she took this gift assessment. Now, this young lady who took it, by this time, she's in her 40s, right? And so you can imagine how long they've been living with that type of strange relationship, and that's what she called it. She called it a strange relationship. And so you can actually do that in your life, in family dynamics and on a job and in a business. And so again, you get this young person that comes right in with all these ideas, and the older person they're not open to it, right? And it's only because of the way that they're wired. So
and not knowing the gifts.
And there's nothing wrong with me, so you got to change.
Exactly.
You're the problem.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go at a different. I wonder, and I was talking to a friend this morning at the gym.
Hey, come up here, Chris, so you can be a little close. I don't know if y'all can hear him. This is our audience.
So hey, good afternoon. Hello all. I'm Chris. I was talking with a friend at the gym this morning. I was like, as a people, we come from a lot of oppression. And
there's their word.
We may not know. And the reason we got on this subject, there is a 26-year-old basketball player that OD'd, he had some issues.
29.
Maybe, I don't know if suicide, OD, or whatever. But you're thinking like, man, you got all of this empty, money is empty, right? Until you have value with it. But I wonder if there's a lack of self-awareness based on history. And let's say the older generation, they know what they know, right? Maybe they were trained in a certain mindset. Do what you're told, because if you don't in the South, you're going to die.
Absolutely.
And fast forward, we're not even in that space no more. We got, Jim Crow has ended. Now we have this freedom. So there's a battle with a freedom mindset and a battle with a Jim Crow mindset that maybe that's clashing sometimes.
Yeah, as a people, we are in a position where we're moving forward, but in a lot of places we're not moving at all.
And I wonder it's because of the environment. It's part of the system. We don't even know it, and the system is set up. And we say the workplace. The workplace typically, it ain't really set up for us like that.
Right. So, but then you think about it. So what makes the difference? We do.
Yes.
We make the difference. And it's based on how you are made. And so when we're talking about these 7 motivational gifts, Chris, and people who are watching, when we're talking about these motivational gifts are how you were designed. And so what causes a lot of conflict is because you're fighting against that thing that how you're wired and trying to, fit into this narrative where everybody else say that you ought to be. Right. And so, but your inside is going crazy because you're like, no, that's not how it should be, but I'm going to do it because. And so people get stuck in a cycle of craziness and become oppressed, depressed, and don't want to ever go to work. They don't want to get up and go to work. So now you're lazy because you don't want to go. No, I don't want to go to work because that doesn't really fit who I am.
Right.
But because my people told me I should be doing this, I'm going to get up and go and do it. But I'm not going to be happy about it. And so that's one of the byproducts of knowing whether you're operating your gifts or not, is when you are joyful getting up every day, going to do what you do. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be tired. Okay, that doesn't mean some days you're gonna be like, oh, you know what, honey, every time I did an event, I was like, oh no, this is my last one. I quit. Okay, but then the next, let me get a nap. All I need is a little power nap. I'd be like, no, you know what, that really went well. So when are we gonna do the next one? Because of who I am, right? And so, and as an exhorter, I love people. Okay, and people can tell that about me, right? I love people. And so when you are in a people business, a people atmosphere, you can't help it. And so a lot of times I have to be careful, because as an exhorter, I'm a hugger, right? And so, yeah, everybody get used to it after a while. They be like, what's wrong with her? I just love people, right? But also I'm that one that loves to encourage, right? So when I'm in that atmosphere, you tell me something, we don't see impossibilities. We only see possibilities.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're going to tell you, you come to me with some negativity. I'm like, no, that's the problem. We're not going to live there. We're going to take care of it. And then, so I'm just going to explain my top 3. So that's me as an exhorter. I love to encourage people. I love to brainstorm. I love to see people live and be victorious. Whatever your idea is, let's get to work. Let's hunker down. We're going to get it done. Right. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So again, we tell you guys to go take the gift assessment. What you got, Chris?
So for that individual that can't get out of bed, that's stuck, they labeling, how does that individual tap into what you just said?
They have what you got? Oh, you want me to go ahead and answer? You got it. How do they tap into? So first of all, they need to meet one of us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so that they're going to have to get themselves in a position where they can be spoken and somebody can speak into their lives, right? And so we pray that something like this comes across their feed, their notification, or even for a mutual friend of some sort. So, but once that person that's laying in that bed, once you discover your top 3 gifts, so it's 7 gifts, and once you take the assessment and you discover your top 3, we're going to tell you why you laying in that bed, don't want to get up. You understand what I'm saying? Because so most people who do that, there's a Mel, can you check the door? Somebody's up front. So once they do, like, it can be a compassionate person. So that compassionate person, they take everything to heart. You know what I'm saying? They all up in their feelings and, oh, woe is me. Don't nobody love me. They don't like me. They don't want me to be a part. I might as well just stay here up under the covers, and do nothing. Right. And so we know how bad that gets. I can't do nothing right. And when they come to talking, I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't do that when you come talking to me. Right. Mm-hmm. And so then, but my second gift, you're going to meet, when they meet this type of person, this is the one that most people think is very rude, or she is just, I don't know,
blunt,
because that's who she met. The perceiver person in me, right? The perceiver. That perceiver going to say what they mean and mean what they say. If you don't want to know the truth, do not ask a perceiver, because honesty and integrity is huge, right, for a perceiver, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're asking, and the good thing, one of the best parts about this gift that I didn't know that was such a blessing, is that we can see things that other people can't see. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we have high discernment, right? And so when I'm looking at you, or when you sharing your scenario or your situation with me, right, I'm going to go in, like, if you're asking me. And so a lot of times we don't know. That's our notice to get ready for what we're doing. So if you don't, when you're asking me the question and I'm thinking, they really want an answer, and I give it to them. And they may not hear it because of the way that I may have presented it, and it may seem a little tight, right? And so they say, "Oh, she's so mean. Who she thinks she is? Who she talk to? Oh, she don't like me." No, you just didn't like the way I delivered what I said, and you may not even like what I said, because it is the truth. That's right. Yeah. The truth hurts, and I don't care what nobody say. All the time that you're looking for the truth, most people don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't make them feel good. Yeah. Right. And so that perceiver is going to tell it like it is. So I had to learn how to do my, change my delivery. But you still going to get the truth. And then my third one, then we're going to go on, is the administrator. And so that administrator is a visionary. They can see things. How many things I brought to the table, right? And just making it work. But we love structure. We write to-do lists. We like lists. We like, what else about administrators? I mean, we got a couple of them on here. Y'all know.
Yes, structure, list, checklist.
Order.
Yes.
And we, and so we know how to, this is the one thing I love about administrators. We love to tell people what to do. Love it. Not in a bad way, but we know how to align people with their positions along with their gifting. So even if we don't know about the gifts, we know how to recognize. We recognize their giftings or their skill set, right? Mm-hmm. We recognize their skill set and know how to line them up. So
all right, I feel like she's looking at me, so I should tell you what my gifts are. All right, so I am the researcher on the team.
I don't like research, period.
One of the researchers on the team. Mm-hmm. And so as a teacher, I want the facts. I don't want your opinion. I could care less how you feel about the situation. The thing that happened is the thing, and that's it. So if you are going to give me information that you expect me to act on, you better have some receipts. I want to know where the information came from. How did you come to that decision? What resources you use to come to that conclusion? So I'm going to ask you questions. Yeah. And if you ever in your life question my integrity or question whether or not I did research first,
or her intelligence, you're in trouble.
Right. You want to see me act up. Treat me like I ain't got no sense. And so that part of me is how I help support our team a lot, in that, okay, here's the information that I have. And then my second gift as the administrator, also with those receipts, you're going to find those receipts because they've been written down.
But can I say something about your teacher gift real quick? Again, the facts, she does not care. Teachers don't care about your opinion. And so they're going to go by the rules, by the book, even if they wrote them. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you want to go against that, and if they are just anal, about being in proper steps, you doing the right thing. They're not going to care. So I just want you to understand that too, because most people get offended by teachers because they think teachers are so arrogant and they don't like them because of whatever.
One of those people
she's
think
not
they know everything.
Right. But she's not emotional. Like, and this happened. She's like,
okay, so what are we going to do about
that? Okay. Once she'll let you finish. Okay, that email came in.
Per my last email.
Okay, so we're gonna get right back to business. And so y'all gonna work with people. You live with people like this. Okay.
And then my third is exhorter. So if you make the teacher happy, the exhorter will come out.
Period.
Otherwise you're gonna think that I'm not a people person.
Exactly.
And that is how I'm able to do more of the operation things that I do, because I like structure. I want to see things have a path and a plan ahead. So when the visionary comes up with an idea, I'm like, okay, well, this is how we can make it happen. And that's why our partnership works so well, because in my partnership with our other besties, if y'all looking on the screen, we all work together because we all acknowledge our gifts. And what we call that is gift intelligence, that understanding about your own gifts and others and how they work together or don't.
And so that's right. And you learn how to step back, step over, step out, whatever, however
Step
you go
on.
step. Right, step over. Right. So, but let's go and have coaches. So we did do one scenario. We're going to do another. So what we're going to do, y'all see us looking to the side because we do have an audience here now. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Y'all let them know y'all in the house.
We're not talking to ourselves over here.
Now, I'm not looking at the wall, y'all. I am looking at some people. But we want you all to be thinking of a scenario that we can walk you through it, and we can actually kind of help you show and explain what gifts were at work. You know what I'm saying? Even in how you responded to the situation, right? And so we can just kind of tell you what gifts that you may be operating in.
And you don't have to expose anybody. Just talk about the people in kind of a general sense. So because these are scenarios that you are not going through by yourself.
Right.
Other people have seen it happen.
And it won't be your last time going through that scenario,
Really
especially if you don't get it right, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time. You're going to continue to operate in that manner. And you're going to keep getting those same types of results, right? And so we want to move forward.
Yes.
We want to move forward. All right. So, Coach, let's talk about the compassionate real quick. Because
okay. Thank you for asking, because I wanted to chime in, but then I didn't want to interrupt. All of those things. So can you all hear me? You can hear me well? Okay, perfect. The compassionate, we feel everything you say. So I'm learning that as I deal with other compassionates in my life, and going back to the scenario of the younger generation, because maybe a lot of them have compassionate. It's an emotional gifting, and it's something that you need to learn how to hone in on those other gifts, is to ask the question of, what did you hear me say? Right? What did you hear me say? Because then that person will tell you whether or not they actually heard what you said or they felt what you said. And that's a question that internally, being high compassionate, then giver, then exhorter, I have had to learn how to ask myself internally those questions, because I believe Chris asked the question about, maybe it's the environment. Definitely get with the BestieFinder team in new environments so that you can learn the gifts, learn what your characteristics are and what the problem areas are, so that you can work and navigate through those things.
And change that environment.
And change your environment. Because when you are stuck, you're out of balance. And most of the time it's compassionate, but that might not even be your top gift. It might be that you just don't know what that gifting is. So it's showing up, and you're showing up in balance, if that makes any sense. Because people will take the gift assessment and then a year later take it again, and the order of those giftings may change because you have learned how to incorporate those other giftings. Again, we're all born with the same gifts. They're just ordered differently. And what I know is that when I'm in business, my giver will show up first. But with my family, I have to naturally go to the giver because I want to be an advocate for everybody that I feel like is being wronged in that moment,
Ooh,
right?
hunty.
That's a characteristic of the compassionate. We want to save the world. We think everybody does is perfect. Nobody's going to harm us. And that's why as a compassionate, I pair with those that have stronger gifts in those areas because I will be trampled on, I will be hurt, and understanding those other gifts gives me encouragement and can give other compassionate led gifting people, if that's a word or correct grammar. It
Yeah,
can
it's all good.
empower
Everything
you.
right today.
It can empower you to move forward in a will, more of a will, which is taking action, or more of a mindset, which is changing your perspective of how you see things. Again, working in team environments is about knowing who you are, but also being able to connect with the team that you have. And
Right.
like Dean Kathy and Dr. Lisa has already said, and I love what you said earlier, Dr. Karma, it's going to come back to me. But as you guys have already stated, is that, um, now I lost it. Is the goal connection or the clash?
Exactly.
Point
So,
back
but I want
quickly.
to explain a little bit more about the compassionate gift,
Oh,
because when you work with a compassionate, you're coach. So we don't coach through this already. So she understands. Compassion people are feelers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everything. They love. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they are drawn to the hurting, and they want to take action to do it to the point where they can be very gullible if it's not managed, because they want to take care of everybody. They just want to love everybody, and they are bridge builders. They want everybody to have great relationships, you know. And then the minute they get their feelings hurt real easy. And so now, you as having a stronger gift that's operating with, working with this person, you may feel like, dang, everything I say always, they're so sensitive, but, and they cry very easy at the drop of everything. Movie, dogs that's on the side of the road, the home, anything. They want to take care of people, right? But it was something about the compassionate. Again, I was saying they love, but they are definitely drawn to each other. Those are the ones that's out there picketing, for cars, laying out in the middle of the highway. You know what I'm saying? You can't come by here until you decide, give us, take care of the pigs, whatever it is that they have a cause for, they go in hard because they love, right? And they are easily offended. The one thing about compassion is also they hold in because they don't like confrontation, right? So if you hurt their feelings, you may not ever know it until you stub that toe, and then they're going to talk about something that happened 20, 30 years ago, and it's going to all flood in. Twin, you all right back there?
But the great
Because
thing,
y'all, I've lived with compassionates like for a long time. And it didn't pan out for me. We were like in an argument. This was my ex-husband. We were in an argument, seemed like every single day. All because our gifts were clashing, right? And I didn't know it until I became a certified gift coach. All right. And once I understood it, I was like, oh my God. Okay, so now they are offended by everything you say when it, and it could not be even about that situation, because what they're talking about, I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't think we're talking about the same things, because it could have triggered something, a trauma from their childhood or something that made them feel the same way. Right? All right, so I wanted Dr. Carmel to talk about, so Oliver, she has all of our gifts, except compassion. She has Dr. Lisa.
Hang on one second, Coach. You had your hand up.
I was just going to add with the compassionate, I'm also learning, how Dr. Lisa has the teacher. If you satisfy the teacher, the exhorter comes out. And what I'm learning to love about it, because it's a gift that a lot of compassionates don't like. I was one of those people. I didn't like being compassionate. The idea that I was compassionate, that's not me. I don't know who you're talking about, but it's not me, right?
Right.
Reality is that I'm learning to love it because we are creative. If we
That's
have the
right.
space,
Oh, yeah.
and we feel safe, oh, it's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing. It is so beautiful, and everybody feels good around you. So I just
Right.
wanted to add that. I just
Oh,
wanted to
that's
add that.
awesome, Coach. Look, that's why they always smiling. You'll see her with carrying that beautiful smile all the time. I love it. Just happy, you
Mhm.
know, and until, right?
That part.
If she's not smiling,
I'll be
hit the
like,
deck.
what's going on, Coach? She'd be like, I hate to come around you, Dean Kathy, because as a perceiver, I can pick it up, even if she tries to smile. A
Mhm.
perceiver, I can pick it up when somebody's not doing so well, right? And so now Dr. Carmel, now it's so funny. Her teacher gives is so strong to me, to the point where she's still, very still, and I'm thinking like, is she there? Is she
get
listening?
disconnected.
Right? Because you can't, she's so focused in, right? They so focused in, and I have to say, move your head, bat your eye, wink or something. Let me know you still there. Yeah. So, but she worked around a whole team of compassionate.
Yes.
Girl,
So, can you
I
just
feel you.
okay, just giving us a little scenario of your life as a teacher, who wants to and as an exhorter, the exhorter showed up when she want them to raise the bar for themselves.
Yes.
But I'm gonna let you go from there.
But I didn't. It was like total Hades chaos before I realized what the gifts were, and even what my gift was, because it was like it's like Chris was saying, like a sense of oppression, because they're saying you need to do this, you need to do it this way, this ain't working, everybody's offering suggestions, but I didn't even know, I didn't have my own compass, so I could know who I was. But once, it's just like y'all said before, it starts with us. And so I didn't realize who I was, what my gifts were, to where I could feel empowered enough to empower them.
Exactly.
So once I got hooked up with Dean Kathy, I met the perceiver first. I didn't know anything about the exhorter, none of that stuff. I met the perceiver, and she asked me a question. She said, but how did you get it though? And so that led to a domino effect of me discovering my gifts. And it's like Coach Nayala said, a year later, I took the gift assessment, because initially administrator, teacher, and giver were my top three. And the exhorter was nowhere near, and compassion was at the bottom, you know. But after I realized what my gifts were, I was able to identify the strengths as far as the gifts and other people. It wasn't that they were lazy. It wasn't that they weren't listening. They were just wired differently. And
And they
that
were
our gifts were
motivated.
organized differently. And so once I realized that, working at the daycare, um, I was I was trying to create a system of buy-in to where they would feel empowered with being at work, and they would want to come to work, because it was like a miserable feeling that I felt. And so if it started with me, then it trickled on down to them. But I had to change that environment. It goes back to what Chris and Coach Nayala was saying about the environment, and even Dean Kathy. You have to create a safe space. But I didn't know how to create that safe space because I wasn't intelligent about my own gifts. But once I got that information, and I was willing to extend grace to myself first, to learn about myself, and then extend grace to them to do things the way that they were wired to do it. With that teacher gift, I'm like, here's the list. This is how we're going to get this done. But with the compassionate people, I couldn't give them the entire list. I had to give them one or two tasks at a time. I couldn't give them the whole thing with my little cliff notes in there about how to get it.
Right. Cliff
If we had a
notes.
meeting, I had to give them the summary of the summary. I had my notes, but if I gave them I made that mistake one time. I gave them my notes, and they were like, and it's like they just shut down and brain started to melt,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Overwhelmed.
and they felt overwhelmed also.
Yeah.
And they said that later, like, I was like, overwhelmed by what you had to list. What you mean? You literate, you can read what you're talking about. But
that's a teacher response.
yes, and so I had to dial it back because it hurt their feelings. And so and it's like with my son, he's compassionate. His top gift is compassion. And so even with like back to my staff, I had to say, well, what did you hear me say? What did you hear? Tell me what you heard. But then I had to close my mouth so I wouldn't appear as if I was judging them for misunderstanding what I was saying,
Yes.
because I had to understand they felt what I was saying instead of hearing what I was saying. So I had to dial it back. And that comes back with emotional intelligence and gift intelligence. And so by the end of it all, y'all, we had that daycare running like a sewing machine. Do you hear me? I was
Mhm.
licensed, well, I can say this now. I was licensed for 30 children, but we had 45 rotating through that building because the staff, they loved it. They were becoming more involved. We came up with lesson plans. We were doing Mama's Day Out. We were doing the field day. We had t-shirts. The compassion people came up with the t-shirts because the teacher and administrator, I'm not creative, but honey, we had t-shirts. You know, it was just an environment for growth. And it goes back to what Coach Nayala was saying in the beginning. Do you want to grow your business? Do you want to grow yourself? Do you want to grow your staff? But it all came back to that one thing with Dean Cathy. But how did you get it though? And that led me to BestieFinder, that led me to BGT, that led me to the gift assessment, that led me to this. So once you
And
realize,
business builders.
yes, that business builders is how thank you, Dean Kathy. Business builders is how I was able to scale the daycare and actually make more money in a different area by offering a different
Mhm.
program. Y'all, we had a garden curriculum. And then we also had an after school program to where the parents could pay a little bit more each month to get their children in the tutoring academy that we had. And that was done through business builders. That accountability was there. And even delegating tasks to the staff based on
Mhm.
their strengths or their gifts. I wasn't able to
Ooh.
recognize all of that stuff without me understanding my own gifts and then being conscious enough and willing enough to recognize in others and their gifts in other people instead of judging them for it or talking down to them for it. Because it's easy as a teacher to be condescending or sound
Mhm.
condescending or even arrogant because we know what we know, because we've done the work, we've done the research, so we know what we know. But
Exactly.
when we're questioned, I was thinking about Dr. Lisa and how my gift as a giver, I have to have balance as well. And that comes with
Mhm.
the ministry side of it too, as like not being easily offended when I'm questioned. They really don't understand because it
That's
looks
right.
good on paper and it looks good in my brain. But when I'm communicating to other people, I have to understand that their brains are wired differently. They
Mhm.
understand differently. They hear differently. Their level of comprehension is differently as well. So I have to present, like some of my staffs even need to have pictures. I'm like, you 30 years old. What you mean you got pictures? But I didn't say it.
Listen,
Yeah,
so
hello.
one of my former clients is in the room here, right?
Mhm.
And we have had exactly that conversation because I want to give you a report that outlines what I did, how I did it, and what the results were.
Mm.
I'm a linguistic learner. I like words. I need all the words.
And we're like,
And my client,
ma'am.
my client who is a creative leader needed graphics. I was like, what you
Yes.
talking about?
Why
Like,
we need graphics?
I can't draw for one. That's your department. So I had to invest in learning how to manage my gifting. So
Yes.
I'm conveying the information in a different way
To another gifted
to an
individual.
exactly.
So, but what I wanted to tap into what you said is like, Dr. Carmel, about learning how to delegate,
Mhm.
because most of the time, if you have that server gift, I can do it all.
Everything.
Yes.
I
But
can do it. No, you want some help? Nope, I got it. Yep, no, now we need to, but now you can say, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be moved, you can see the things that need to be done. But you have so many projects that you are a part of and that you're doing and overwhelming yourself and you don't even realize it because of your server gift. right? And so you don't want to turn it over because guess why? Because you think that if you turn right, it's not going to be right. Nobody can do it like you're going to do it, you know? And so I just do it myself. And so now you have, you feel like, I do all the work. Yeah, you do all the work.
You took all the work.
Because you won't let nobody else help you.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and as a server, I love them though.
Yes.
I love servers. They have great memories, but that's not one on the team. But we work with a lot
servers.
of them. Like we work with them, right? And because they work well with their hands. They love gardening. They love fixing things that, and that's a male or female, right? And so the gift is no gender. Gifts are gifts. All right. And so, but the servers, they love organization. The closet going to be set up like in order, color coded, all the shoes and all the same colors and the same stuff. I'm like, girl, just throw that stuff in there. Girl, no. You know what I'm saying? And so no, but it's color coded. Everything is in order, even down to the chest of drawers, the kitchen. Don't move a pillow off their sofa because it has to be sit just like this. If you move it, they know it. They know if you turned it east when it was west, who moved my pillow? I'm like, I didn't touch it. It wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? But it might have been me. I can't remember.
So to that end, administrators don't like housework.
Whoop. We don't like domestic stuff at all. We have to get creative on how to get it done. Play some music, talk on the phone. It has
Hire somebody.
That's what we learn. Hire somebody to get it done. It's okay. Servers love to do it. I'm telling you, servers love to clean. That's their pet peeve. Their house is going to always be ready for hospitality to treat you like royalty.
So and give us about 2 weeks notice, maybe 3 weeks, so we can hire the person. They can get
exactly. Well, you might need to give me 30 days. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just we're just tapping into. So I wanted to really begin to get to a place we can do one other scenario real quick. We'll take 5 minutes, and then we're going to ask you guys some questions. Y'all can ask us some questions about the gifts. Okay. All right. So online, if you guys have any questions, just put it in the chat. Don't be shy. We're safe. You're safe.
Yes, this is a safe space, and that's very important because when you don't feel safe, nothing happens.
Right. We're not going to call you out. We're not going to, we're not going to give out your address. We're not going to tell you we know what you did last night. We're not going to do none of that. Okay.
All right. So let me set y'all up. So in this nonprofit communications team, we have 2 weeks until this major launch of our fundraising strategy, right? Things have to get done. The date is not going to change. So we have a project lead who keeps pushing for tighter timelines, quick decisions. Let's get this done. We've got to get this done. Who's that?
Me. The administrator, okay.
Oh, is it the administrator? Okay.
There is somebody on the team who keeps asking deep, detailed questions, right? And kind of dragging the meeting on because they want to answer to that question.
Google.
But our team member is frustrated because they see all of the clashing happening and they want everybody else to feel good. So now they're also feeling stressed, right? The team lead feels like they're unsupported. The questioner feels like they're being ignored again. And the heart-led folk feels like they're emotionally exhausted trying to hold everybody together.
And they're crying every second. Yeah.
I don't want to go to the meeting. I'm tired. There's so much negative energy. Coach this.
Y'all, I've been talking all day, so y'all might not want me to jump in first. So we got 2 minutes to get this done.
All right. Yeah.
See, tighter timelines. Chris called that.
What he say?
Chris called it. I was like, we got 2 minutes. Let's go.
Okay. Yes, and that doesn't work for the compassionate. The compassionate need 2 weeks for a 2-leaf tie line for a whole month. Like,
That's right.
It's gonna come across like this, so with the compassionate, just understanding the frustration, but being willing to confront is why they feel frustrated in the first place. So for the compassionate, it's about tapping into the other gifts. Honestly, it's really about tapping into the other gifts that will help propel you to move forward. As a giver, we can look at different angles, right? That's my second gifting, to look and see what piece or what gap may be missing. And that giver will come out and say, okay, so what is really important here? Or may be able to hear what the teacher's asking to give it to the administrator, or vice versa, so that there's a meeting of the minds. And so, in that scenario, for me personally, I would pull on the giver, because the compassionate will lean toward one side or the other, whether they feel comfortable with one person over the other or whatnot. And it can be an unbalanced situation. I would say that for the compassionate, if they have the space to know what needs to be done and be creative, like whatever skill set they're strong in, to be creative, to execute, that will be ideal for them for short time frames. Other than that,
well, and the team lead will have to know that about that. So it's important. As a team lead, you have to know who you're working with, right? And so it's important to discover these gifts, because you'll know who you're dealing with. So as an administrator, so you heard me say, okay, we got 2 minutes, we got to get this done. All right. So as a compassionate, I'll be like, I know what to tell her or him to do. You know what I'm saying? So like, we know that this is a short time. You just make sure, that the light's on. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Just knowing what tasks they can do. Right. And so as an administrator, just again, understanding who you're working with, what your timeline is, what the vision is, and just look at your people's skill set. You know what I'm saying? And then just knowing, because you have the ability to do that. So it's not trying to figure it out, already. And administrators, or whatever position that you're working in, you're going to be called to leadership, period, point blank, whether you want to go or not. Because that's how you're going to show up. And then you expect that from other people. But when you understand that they are not gifted and wired that way, then that's when you begin to just really build a team in that manner. So in that space, that would be me. I would have to work it out.
May I add for the compassionate too, Dr. Lisa?
Okay, you got me. I'm giving y'all one extra minute.
Okay, 1 second. With the
not
compassionate,
you the whole minute, but yeah. But
I know the giftings allow you to know not to take things personally.
Right.
That's it.
Step back and look, figure it out. Okay. What you got, Coach? Dr. K.
Dr. Combs.
Same thing. It's just like she just said. I was just thinking it's nothing personal. Like with the teacher, if you can't get your questions answered in the meeting, because the timeline, you have a deadline and the meetings can only last for so long. How about send an email? That may help. And if the email doesn't get answered because the administrator is busy administrating, then you could possibly speak to the compassionate and be like, okay, can you give me an idea on how we can communicate my questions? Or maybe somebody else on the team may be able to answer the question.
Absolutely.
Just
you got, Dr. Lisa.
So yes, there's definitely a risk of the teacher becoming really pedantic, and they will also get in their feelings, but because they feel like the warnings that they're giving or the guidance that they're giving is being ignored, right? And so teachers, I'm putting myself in that group squarely, because that's one of the challenges that I still have, that when you are working with other gifts, you have to manage your gifting so that you can give grace to other people. And grace is very important, because if you can take yourself out of the driver's seat to see where everyone else is giving their perspective, now you're not feeling like us versus them.
Yes.
It is work that we're working together. We have a common goal So how do we work through this constructively?
Right.
And as a teacher, you know research, you know how to find answers. So if you can't get the answer you want right away, look at the possibilities, and then you'll stop feeling like you got to dig your heels in on this particular answer or point.
Right. So I'm gonna wrap it up like this, y'all. As an administrative, I was over the project, and this is something really that happened. Yeah, I brought in my own team. Okay, I already knew who could do what. When I was brought in to do something, and it was in ministry, and the people there, they were all up in their feelings because first of all, they done brought me in to be over this women's, whatever. What is that? The women's ministry. Right. And they weren't told. So now whenever, oh no, you can't tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? And now let me go take it to pastor first. Oh, okay, go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead on over here and do this because I'm on a timeline. I got 2 weeks and I'm gonna get it done regardless of what it's gonna take, because that's us. We need to make sure that we take care of what we need to take care of, right?
Yeah.
And so again, that's what I would end up doing. Just bringing in my whole team and hire somebody else to get it done when the team at hand don't want to respond or want to cooperate because they're too busy, wanting to do it their way or not trying to even get involved or understand the vision at hand, right? And so to keep down the hoop, like, we can talk about that later because that's exactly what I did. I was like, I need to talk. When everything was done, went over without a hitch, beautiful. Like, yeah, I need to talk to you, and let's lay it out on the table because that's the type of person I am as far as in my giftings, confronting, but not in a bad way, but just like, let's lay it out. All right. So guys, we just got a few minutes. Anybody got any questions? Anybody want to share anything about that particular scenario?
Dean Kathy, somebody from Live just said, come on now, tell it 18. Bring your team in.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I mean, it is, again, it's not personal. It's business. And most people don't know how to separate personal and business.
Mm-hmm.
And I do. And they thinking I'm trying to be funny. No, I'm not. I need to get the job done. And so if we can be friends still after I have made my decision, which we had a situation like that, I'm cool with it. I'm good with you. You may be mad at me, you know what I'm saying? And may not want to be friends no more because I had to make a professional decision. What you got, Chris?
So question for you. Say for example, you understand your gifts. What is it? 7 gifts.
It's 7 gifts.
7 gifts. But you don't really know who you're working. You don't really know another person's gift. You may be guessing at it. How do you effectively kind of leverage your 7 gifts to work with somebody else? You don't really know what their gifts are unless you tell.
Okay, so you won't even have to leverage all 7. Just your top 3 first of all. And it goes by which one is the highest, right? For me, I'm 100% exhorter, 100%, right? And so that's what leads me. And so I'm 99% perceiver. So you learn how to leverage your gifts. And I know now that I'm very strong-willed. You know what I'm saying? So now understanding the gifts, I have to fix be careful of my presentation, my delivery. And so then I just, that's how you begin. So once you start understanding the gifts, it's going to make it better for you to be able to recognize that in somebody else.
So without them, I guess, taking the assessment,
you won't know. You won't know. Mm-hmm. You will be forever guessing.
Yeah.
And
so I guess in order for this to work effectively, everybody need to understand their gift.
Everybody.
Yes.
Period.
But what if everybody don't? Let's say, how do you?
But you're gonna have, if you do and they don't. So that's what I had to realize in my relationship. I had to take ownership of knowing. And so I responded differently. That changed the atmosphere.
It did.
That changed the environment. Because now I'm like, okay, I know that person is compassionate. Let me say, let me just give my compassion look. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I had to give them my compassion look because I do have some compassion. We have all 7, but we just operate in those top 3, right? So it's on you to make the difference. And guess what? They're gonna recognize and they're gonna feel it and they're gonna appreciate it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
when,
answered your question?
Or fall off.
so when you understand your gifts, you start giving people grace.
Yes.
And as Kathy said, they will feel it.
Mhm.
But you, once you understand your gifts, will not be able to hold it in.
Right.
Because once you understand your gifts, if you've done our gifts course or if you've just taken the assessment and know what the gifts mean to you, you're going to start pointing people out.
Mm-hmm.
And you naturally start telling people to do it. So once you experience the joy of operating in your gifts, because once you are when you are in your lane, or in psychology we call it in your flow, right? When you feel that, you can't get away from it because you keep doing that. That feeling is a way we're supposed to feel
Yeah.
about who we are.
Right. That's what we're
Mhm.
talking about, embracing who you really are.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, so many people are operating outside of their lane.
Right.
What you say, twin? Yeah, that's that. So, you hear all these different terms, the imposter syndrome. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because you're so busy. Some people don't, like Coach was saying earlier, people don't want to be compassionate. But you're going to find more compassionate people in the world than anything.
Yeah.
And when they find out, even people in business, when they find out that compassion in their top 3, I don't want to be. I was like, too bad. Now you are compassionate. Love it. Learn to love these gifts so you can operate authentically in who you are. Because eventually the real you is going to show up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, so everybody's going to be looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? After you've been hiding for so long. And then when you show up, hey, Pam. That's my Pammy. She went through the program as well, too. So she understands about this giftings. You guys, anybody else? Thank you, Chris. If you had something else, you were good?
Now, I want to say that if you are hiding who you are, it's not just because you're ashamed of who you are. You start operating the way you're trained,
Mm-hmm.
the way you grew up, the way that you feel is going to be most expedient to cause you the most stress. Because sometimes being yourself means you got to buck up against all the people who are in your life.
Yeah.
And that's scary.
That made Pam laugh.
That is scary. Sometimes the real you doesn't fit in the life you're living.
That
That part.
And it is really
The life
hard
you're
to
living
change.
at home, at work,
At the
Mhm.
church.
at church.
Yes.
Okay, because everybody at church, they want to be next to the pastor. Everybody want to work with the first lady. They want to be over this department. I want to be ordained as a, you know what I'm saying? You don't have the capacity.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? And so we're not saying anything bad about you, but you just don't have the capacity to do that. You're not wired. And especially if you haven't tapped into who you really are, then you're going to get in there and just show up as period. Just crazy. So it was something else I was going to say, but guys, the floor is open. What else you got? I love this. By the way, if y'all haven't noticed,
I also love it. I just don't look like it.
right? You got a book about it. All right. And that's when I learned it, I knew that I had to share it. So I've been doing this since 2006. When I first 2005, 2006, when I became a certified gift coach teacher. I mean, I was like, everybody in the world needs to know this because it's going to make their lives easier. Because I'm telling you, when you embrace it, so that was the other thing. So instead of you trying to do everything and be everything, you can partner with those weaknesses. So many times you find yourselves working so hard on the weaknesses. Because you're trying to rise up to a level that other people, you think that people want to see you, where you think you need to be in order to become successful or to become that millionaire being that everybody's trying to be rich, but don't even understand wealth and what it takes to even, operate it or work in it, to have it, to handle it, right? And don't even know that you're the wealth. Understanding your gifts makes you the wealth. And so when you show up as you, there's some people out there that need you.
That's it.
And especially if you're in business for yourselves, you need to show up as you so that you can get the clients that you need, because you get that client from hell, and you don't know how to deal with them.
Or their business partner.
Come on, that part. That's right. Or their team, you know, because you got all your besties and all these folks. Yeah, we need to get. Yeah, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you. Yeah, and day 2, you know, they late. Day 3, they're not even showing up. Day 4, you know, they'll not show up with an excuse. Day 4, they're gonna not show up with no excuse. You wanted crickets, okay? Because that's not their lane, and not that they don't love you enough. They don't have the capacity, right? So, so y'all have a scenario. We want to coach a scenario live. Anybody got something? Come on, my live chat, public chat. My audience in here. What you guys? Y'all have a scenario we can. Y'all don't even have to state your name.
Just tell us what kind of situation you're working through.
Have that you feel like it could have been done differently.
They got them. they got them.
I'm looking at smiles in the audience, like, okay.
It could be personal. It could be business. Yeah, you know, if you don't want to, you know, it could be
while they're thinking through it. Dean Kathy, while they're thinking through it, I would just want to let everybody know that we do have ways, you know, membership, right? Mm-hmm. First and foremost, taking the gift assessment, right, through the Discover You course, the gift course. And so that's one way you'll learn about the gifts.
Can you stop right there for a second, Coach? When you were talking about the Discover You course, the Discover You course, we just had a business, I won't say partner, but, you know, a biz bestie. I'm going to say that, right? A biz bestie that took the gift assessment, right? She went through all of them. Guess what she found out her number 1 was? Compassion. She was like, oh my God, how did this happen? Right? And so now, and it helped her to understand, because when she went through the gift course, she saw all the definitions, guys, and the videos are about the longest one is like 7 minutes. Right? So we go through all the characteristics and then all of the challenges, of what's going on. And so, but now she's like, girl, we got to meet. So she can say, she wants to know how now that she can take that and fit it into her business. Like, how can she not? Because most compassionate people are very indecisive, right? They're very indecisive. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Where you go to eat? I don't know. Where you want to go to eat? Wherever you want to go. I'm like, no, stop that. Where do you want? Where do you feel like? You know what I'm saying?
And then later on they say, you never listen to me.
Well, you never go where I want to go. And you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm always making the decision, you don't never go where I want to go. I'm like, you need to step back.
Like, right. And that's just the gifting. That's not people. That's just the gifting. We talking about the gifting. Go ahead.
So, but I'm just saying, it's showing up in business, and they don't understand the clashing even with themselves. Mm-hmm. You know, and when they're trying to build a team and it's not working, you know what I'm saying? So it shows they have a stronger gift, because you can have a combination of this, what we call the serving gift and the speaking gift. The speaking gifts are the ones that's more dominant, right? And more, what's a stronger word? You know, there's y'all get the picture. And so now she needs to know how to, you know, manage all of those. And so and the key to it is awareness. Hmm. The key to it is awareness. And when you understand, when you can see this is happening, and you have the capacity to make the decision, but that compassion is going to jack you up every single time if you let it. And so, you know, that's why most people think they're bipolar. Like, they were like, oh, they tell the truth. Oh, now you need to do this, that. And then that compassion is going to come in like, oh, I hurt their feelings. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh my God, they're not going to like me anymore. You know, oh, we're not going to be friends. All that kind of stuff. And so now we need to help balance your gifts. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. And so it's amazing, guys. I'm telling you, it is life-changing when you understand how to manage your gifts.
Yeah. So after they take the gift course,
right? Okay.
Yeah. After they take the gift course, then we have membership opportunities. So we have the Biz Besties, right? Dr. Lisa, you want to share about that? The Biz Besties and what that entails?
Sure. I'll sell.
I'm sorry.
Well, let's get a scenario first. Let's make sure, because they don't have enough time to talk, to think. You said they were thinking.
Yeah.
So we just gave them a whole. We had just gave them a whole tip 3 minutes. What you got, Miss Judy?
I don't know if this question is appropriate for what you're saying.
It is.
I have to deal with this a close relative.
Mm-hmm.
They are a narcissist, severely left brain, severely math.
So I don't know if y'all can hear the question.
No.
I heard severely left brain.
Yeah, severely left brain, severely math. They plan things for you and then present them to you. And if you don't fall in line with what they said, they feel some kind of way about it.
Lord.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you deal with those kind of, and then they won't tell you what the problem is or what they upset about or what ticked them off or whatever. You're dealing with that, even though you're like, what's wrong?
Nothing. That's what they're gonna say. No, what's wrong? Nothing. Just lying. So the thing is, Judy, this is just me, y'all. Okay. Chris is like, Chris on the
saying that you ain't got to name nobody.
Chris is over his agency, like, okay, what's she about to say? Look, but that's how all of my friends do, right, Chris? So you done made it to the bestie French lane. Okay, he's sitting there waiting, like, what's she about to say?
Getting here for it.
Well, but the thing about it, if she recognizes that, you know what I'm saying? If you recognize that, and so now it's not on that person to figure to what's the word I'm looking for? It's not
make a change or adjust.
Period.
Be different.
You already know. You see those attributes about that person, and you understanding the gifts. You understand the gifts somewhat, I'm sure, because you've taken them. So now it's you who's got to decide in your giftings. Am I going to be offended by that? You know what I'm saying? And so, okay, I understand that they are whatever you said, something left brain. Then you figure out how do you need to approach that situation. If you know that they got an issue with this, then what can you do to give a solution? You know what I'm saying? So it's on you. It's not that person because you already know what's wrong with them.
Right.
Okay. So you I can't remember your gifts, Miss Judy, but you knowing what your gifts are and recognizing theirs, you just have to put it in its perspective place. And then you're going to make a decision whether you're going to deal with this, you're going to deal with that. If that's not your lane, if that's a problem with somebody else, it may not even have anything to do with you.
Right.
That particular part. But the part that you can handle, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? And don't be trying to step into all the other lanes and try to figure out what's wrong with their brain and try to figure out what I'm going to do with this narcissism, whatever part that you play in that whole scenario, you work that part out. And that person you do that with, I promise you, it's going to help them to get the other two parts. Right? I'm just saying, if you break it down into three, you name three things. If you take care of one, it's going to help them to be receptive to something else or to looking into more resources for those other two things. Mm-hmm. So it's about you not getting personally offended, and then you figuring out what you can do. If you can't do nothing for none of those things, then you just step out the way. You know what I'm saying? And just if you can refer them to somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Do it. Don't get caught up in the hype and all the hoopla of the challenges of that person. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Because at the end of it, can't fix people, we fix things.
That's it. Right. But what you can fix.
What I deal with it, I handle it. I know you can't fix people.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. So what can you do about that situation? So you name that you name their characteristics. But what is the situation that is causing that to show up? So if you can get to the root of that, and if you got a solution for it, provide the solution. If you can't, move on. People hang around too long for craziness, and because some people just like mess. They don't know how to operate without it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me, that's a boundaries issue. Mm-hmm. If someone is being manipulative to you, or using your gift against you, whether it's something you're good at or what have you, and they're making plans for your life that they haven't included you on, you as the person with the gift intelligence and knowledge of the gifts and how they work now have to enforce your own boundaries. Because if you don't enforce your boundaries, they don't exist. So they can use you however they want.
Exactly. And you just like a little puppet.
Right. You do whatever they say. So if you are bucking back or you don't like the plan that they set for you, which it sounds like what's happening, then you have to either clearly communicate that and not just say, oh, well, you can't be wishy-washy about your own boundaries. So sometimes it's going to feel like you're not being nice, you're not being considerate. They went through all this trouble for you. Let them be mad. Let them be mad, because the person you are responsible for is the one living in your skin. Okay? So you cannot live their life for them. You cannot change how they approach you. You can change how you respond to that approach. And it's up to them to decide if they're going to deal with you differently based on that.
And that's on every level. Work, so you got, so
Thank you.
anyway. Anybody else?
We got 9 more minutes.
No, we don't.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at this. We got 5 more minutes. Sorry.
So I mean, did this help anybody? Did this refresh some things, or did this introduce anything to you? I'm saying, because so many times you take these gift assessments or these
Strength finders.
Yeah.
I've taken strength
Strength
finders.
finders.
So it's kind of reminded me a little bit of strength finders. Something I hadn't
But the
talked
thing about it is it's about naturally who you are. Not about the colors, not about numbers, not about letters, like not the discs, not about animals. You know what I'm saying? Because they do all of that.
Yeah.
But this is the first one that I've ever, and I've done all of them. This is the first one that changed my life.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And I was able to, communicate, live with, not live with, collaborate, not collaborate, whatever.
So is this more spiritual kind of testing? As you say, guilt, kind of going into that.
Yeah, it really is. It's based on, it is. Because it's about how you're naturally made and what, so how you were naturally made. These gifts are part of your DNA. So if the Father, if he was careful to choose what color we were going to be, our eyes, our size, or whatever, why wouldn't he have packed us full of the giftings on the inside of us on how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to act in the earth? We're supposed to be here, be good stewards, and we're supposed to be good stewards of these gifts. So how are you going to return them back to him? And how are you going to use them? So if somebody gave you some money and they said, go build, you talk about the talents. Yeah, y'all took me. I'm just going to be there for a second. You know what I'm saying? So when he give the script on the talents, the story, and you give the 5, 3, and 1 buried his. And the ruler called him wicked. Because he didn't even do anything with it, but the others grew theirs, they doubled. The 5 grew to 10, the 2 grew to 4, they doubled it. He told him, he said, you could at least put my money in the bank to get some interest. And so that's the same thing with you all's gifts. Don't bury them. We've been doing that long. We've been lied to for so long about how things are supposed to be done. And we've lived a lie of thinking that we can't be as successful as whoever. And the success lies within you and your giftings. And if you ever think that you haven't been successful, think about what you're doing for somebody else right now. For their business. You're making them money every single day because you show up, you get up, and you get dressed on purpose to go into that facility or wherever you go, or whatever you do. And you're doing it for somebody else. So you are successful and you're being successful. But so if you want to learn to do it for yourself, discover your gifts. And be authentically you. So any questions? Give me some comments, some feedback on what you guys heard today. I mean, at least somebody, Tell me, go ahead, twin.
I'm gonna give a witness who will change your life. Like if you don't know who you are and how you're wired, you're doing yourself a disservice. You will show up in your intrinsic power when you know who you are.
Twin, I might need you to come up front to say that again, 'cause they can't hear you. Coach in the camera right there. Talk up, girl.
You have done yourself a disservice if you do not know your gifts and who you are and how you're wired. You and walk in your intrinsic power. It is nothing more freeing and liberating. You will live on purpose every day.
Every day.
Unapologetic.
Mm-hmm.
You sure
Awesome. Thank you. So anybody else? Because we're gonna wrap it up.
No, good session.
Awesome. It's great. Tell me your name.
Curviana.
Yes. So what you got, Curviana?
I feel like this is really good for relationships
Mm-hmm.
because you're with the person 24/7, so you're learning them.
That's right.
And some people don't know how to react to certain situations. So I feel like learning your gifts will definitely make you react to certain situations in a better way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I fail a lot when it comes to just with certain situations that happen. I don't react the way I should. But just hearing this and learning more things about your gifts, I'm like, okay, I know how to go about this or ask more questions. Like my director of sales, that she's that person. You can't come to her and just tell her anything. She's gonna ask you a million questions before. No, literally, that's her. But that's a good thing because it shows that you have an open mind. You're not closed-minded to just one thing that you hear. So I think you all did a great job, and I'm definitely gonna look into this too.
Awesome. Yay. And that's good. So now you know that she's wired that way. And so now it'll be easier. Like sometimes you be like, I don't feel like all them questions, but now you know that's what I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I gotta ask questions because that's the way my brain works. I'm a logical.
And a logical thing. And teachers are like that. They're very logical. So that's why I said we couldn't get into all of that. Man, and that's what they do. They ask a lot of questions. And most people, they think it don't take all of that. Oh, for a teacher, yes, it does.
They gotta know.
Whatever I say, that is going to be valid. I don't like to just make false. When I'm going to give you a decision, I want to make sure that it's clear and precise, but I have to have all my facts.
All the facts.
All the facts.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, certain gifts you named, I was like, oh yeah, that's Rebecca. That's her all the way, but it's good to be that way because I've never been under someone like that would ask those questions. They would be like, okay, I'm with you. No. I don't need you to be with me. I need you to tell me
if this right.
If this is right or wrong. I don't need a yes man in my corner.
Right.
I'm not gonna grow up. And a lot of people want yes men in their quarter because they want to feel right, like, oh yeah, they're no. You have to take constructive criticism, and I feel like that's a good way to go about life. But y'all did an amazing job. Like this was amazing.
Thank you. That's what we wanted to hear. You know what? And so I love it when I know Rebecca's gonna show up. She's like, I'm bringing Curviana. I'm like, oh, that's good. So, and I know that tells me like probably what one of her other top gifts are. Of her always wanting to make sure that you are growing as well and that you're a part. So that's awesome. Awesome. So, ladies and gents, we appreciate you all. Who we got? Okay, coaches. There you go, coach. We got Miss Kenya. All right.
Kenya.
Hey, girl. And then again, so you all, thank you all so much for being here with us. And again, when you see us, is what you see is what you get. And I love the fact that, with us, what, Pam? Pam was cracking up, y'all, because she knows, like, Dean Kathy, ever since we met, have I changed? And it was so funny, y'all. I'm gonna close with this. My ex, he came down to the place where I worked before when I worked at government, and so one of the ladies stopped him when we introduced. She was like, "Is she like this at home?" He's like, "Yes." He said, "But make that N-word mad. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, yes, this is who she is, right? And so the gift is what Clarissa just said. Dr. C. Williams just said that it will cause you to show up authentically every day. And you don't have to struggle with trying to be something else or someone else, right? And so I love the fact that since we've taken over the chamber as the new administration here, that the people are saying that the atmosphere and the environment that we have created, or that we are creating, they are loving the space that, that we've created. And that's because we're showing up as who we are. You know what I'm saying? And then we're allowing, and we're bringing people in to be who they are. And we want to, however we can help. So again, thank you, Greater South Fulton Chamber members and community for showing up. Bestie Finders, all our besties, thank you for being here. And Coach Nayala in Tennessee, thank you, girl. You sounded Nashville-ish. I'm telling you, you sounded Nashville-ish. And
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Okay. I'm trying to tell you. I was just kidding. Dr. Karma, thank you so much out of Mississippi, y'all. And so that's why I said these things that we're doing in relationships that we're building are across the states, y'all. It's not just in our own little neighborhood. And then, of course, being here with my bestie has been amazing. I love working with her every single day. I love how I can give a vision, and she adds to it, and she helps us bring it to life. So, again, thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for being part of our first Gift Intelligence Town Hall. All right. See you guys next Wednesday.
Yeah. On that note, see y'all next week.
Yeah. All right.
And it's so funny, y'all. Like, you couldn't